One day I asked one of the embassy staffs that what is the most cause of the student visa refusal, and then he told me that it is their bank statement. Simple and short, bank statement. You can get admission, you can get all the documents that is needed by your bank statement. If you don't know how well you can organize or run your bank statement, then get some drink, get some water, and then sit behind this video to the end. You are going to get your solution. So as a travel consultant with many years of experience assisting others, getting the refusal letters from others, what caused them refuse, this is the best, our best of knowledge based on experience. That is one, and then based on the research. So let's go. Now, specifically, what I'm about to say here apply to most of the student visa application, but here I'll break it down to Spain level, Spanish, right? So you can apply this thing to in any other student visa application that you want to study. But let's see. So I've jotted down everything, right? So I have my sheet here and everything step by step. I will explain everything down to. I'll talk about how Spain assess their bank statement when it comes to the student visa, and I also talk about the financial threshold, right? So what they need, the financial threshold, and then I'll also talk about, I'll break down the 6 month and the 12-month courses in this case, and then also how to run your bank account or bank account correctly, right? So I'll talk about that, and then some of the red flags in your bank statement that got you denied, and then how well you can build a strong statement. Obviously, so this is a lot in this video, and then whereas in case of a sponsor, what are some of the things that you have to add, and then finally you have to make sure that you add a explanation letter concerning your financial transaction, and then any ideal bank statement that you can attach to your application to get an approval. So a quick one here, let's go. Now, how Spain assess their bank statements, right? So this is not about how much you have in your bank statement. It's how well the money behaves in your system. Are you getting the point? It is not. It's never about how much you have here. Now, if it's about how much, 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, someone can carry a very huge amount and go and deposit in the bank statement, print it, and then submit it to the consular for a visa approval. No, that is not the case here. It's a matter of consistency. That is one here. Consistency. So have you been consistently in your bank statement? That is one. A legitimate source. Where is the money coming from? Is that okay? That is two. And then sufficiency. So it means that okay, maybe this money after you have been consistent, and then the legit source where the money is coming from, and then sufficiency. So is the money enough to cover your period of study in Europe? That is the question here. Now, what is the financial threshold? So the financial threshold, this is very, very, very important. So Spain uses IPREM. You can go and search that. IPREM. That's a public income indicator. So that is what I have been using to indicate, or based on that rules and regulation they use to assess your statement. So what does it do here? So the current now at the time of making this video, the benchmark here is what, 600 euro to 700 euro on a monthly basis. Is that okay? That is your expenses, right? Between 600 to 700. So you can make it an 800 or maybe 750 to be on the safer side. So by the benchmark here is 600 to 700 euros for the living expenses. Is that okay? For living expenses. Now on a 1 month, that is per month basis. Is that okay? So as soon as possible, don't worry, I'll break everything. I jot everything down here on the board. I will show that to you as you move along. Now number two is your tuition fee. So you have to take care of the tuition fee. I don't know which school you want to apply to, but considering assuming you have to take some certain things into consideration. So maybe we are as a travel consultancy, we are in collaborating with one of the schools in Spain, right? So they are one of the best. They have a 3 different campus in Spain, the major one of them. If you are interested in that, let me know in the comments. There is one in Madrid, right? Very very affordable fees for the language courses. Now, three, you also have to show your return flight, right? So you have to make sure that you have enough money in your bank statement to prove that you are coming back. Is that okay? Right? Okay, so perfect. Now let's go. Now, let's get the calculation here, and then I'll come back and then come and continue the video. So assuming your course is 6 month period, what are you going to do, right? I will show. Stay here. So once we are done, I just make sure that I will drop that among the. But this is a quick one. This is a quick one. So let's say, because me flipping this thing is gonna be a different issue, but let's see. Now, assuming you have a living, so let's do a rough calculation here. So if you have a living expenses of, let's say, 600 multiplied by 6 months, let's say your course is going to be a 6 month period, then what I have to do here is that if I multiply that by 6 months, I'm going to have 3,600 euro. Is that okay? So you just have the benchmark in your head and then multiply by that by the number of months that your course is gonna cover. So let's say you are going for 6 months, that is 600 euros multiplied by 6 months, which is 3,600 euros, right? Now they go for the tuition fee. So if you go for the tuition fee, so assuming your tuition is going to be 1,500 to 3,000 euros for the 6 month, the period of 6 months, then all I have to do here is that you just need to get that money in your bank statement. Is that okay? And then let's look at the second one. So your flight and some buffer. So let's estimate that to be an amount of 1,000 euros. So let's say 3,600 euros, and then to 1,500 to, let's say, 3,000. That is for the tuition fee, depending on the school that you have chosen, and then the flight. So your flight and then return or other things. So let's say 1,000. So the minimum and a safer option here for you is to estimate between 6,500 to 8,000 euros. Now stay here, don't run away. We are not done yet. So there's always a safe mode when you are getting. That doesn't mean you should have that exact amount of money in your bank statement. Is that okay? Of course, there must be something small, but what will be the range? That's why you need to stay here to the end of the video. Now, if your course is gonna be a 12-month period, then it's also the same thing, right? It's also the same period. So you are going to multiply the benchmark according to the public income indicator. So according to that source, then you have to make sure that you are multiplying the 600 by the 12 months, which is your period of a stay here, or maybe 700 euros by the 12 months. So if you are going for the 6 months euros by the 12 months, which is your course period, it means that you should have like 7,200 in your bank statement. That is for the living expenses. We are not done yet. So you have a tuition, you are going to pay a tuition fee. So let's say your tuition for the whole year is, so let's say 2,000 to 4,000 euros, right? So 2,000 to 4,000 euros. And then what about your flights? Of course, it's also remain the same. That is 1,000 euros here. So it means that you're safe, right? So your safe minimum balance here should be 10,000 euros to 13,000 euros. That is the safe mode here. Are you getting it? So it's very, very simple. Just multiply your cost, your duration by your living expenses for the month, your tuition fee, as well as your flight. That's all that I need. Is that okay? So very simple and straightforward. Now here's the key here. So now this is the trick, the trick that you can use to get your visa approval. Did I say very, very, very quickly? Is that you are going to always show a statement that is 20 to 30% more than the minimum. So if you are going for the 6 months, let's say your minimum is between 8,000 euros, and then you have to make sure that you are showing 20% of the 8,000. You just need to do that calculation here. Is that okay? Just get a 20% of the 8,000 euros. You don't need me to do that calculation for you, right? So that is approximately let's say 16,000, right? Approximately 16,000. Very, very simple and straightforward. That is how best you always be able to make sure that you are a little bit above the minimum safe mode. By the way, if you are getting some value from video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have a specific question and then you want to book a paid consultation, that's where we discuss a private issue, you can just click our link. I will leave a link below this description or under the comment section. Now, let's move on to the second part here. How can you run your bank statement correctly? So, okay, I've been getting these questions a lot. How do I run my bank statement? So here we go. Now, taking the statement period for a 6 months, let's say you are going to run your bank statement for the period of a 6 months. What I have to do is that I always recommend that you run it for, let's say, 9 to 12 months. If they say 6 months, don't be on a 6 months exactly. So you can show like a 9 months statement or 6 months statement minimum. That is it. Is that okay? To show that it's not something you are so desperate to get, even though you need that, right? So Koheb, in the book of You Can't Negotiate Anything. You can't negotiate anything. That book is a very special book that you need to read. This also increase your chances of getting the visa approval. Now, let's say which account. If you have your savings account or salary account or maybe a joint account. What I mean by the joint account here, it can be you and your spouse or some either partnership, or you say mostly 2 people is enough, or maybe you have to depend on how well you are going to explain that. So now let's move on. So now what matters here most is that is the monthly flow. So how well your money is coming in and then going out is very, very important here when it comes to the visa application. Right? Not only student visa application, but most of the visa application, this is the most important aspect that you can never ignore. How well your money is flowing. So regular income, so let's say monthly income is the best one, right? So if you are a salary worker, you know the money comes from your job, your employer, your bank, your whatever, into your savings account or into your salaries account. Is that okay? That is what the embassy wants to see on the bank statement. Right, so your monthly deposit, that makes sense. So monthly deposit, aside your salary, if you have been doing another business or side hustle that gives you money, you are going to declare that by an affidavit, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. So make sure that you stay here. So you have a gradual savings growth. So let me explain that point. What I mean by the gradual savings growth here is that, okay, now assuming your salary is 800 euros, so 800, you can convert that to a currency. Maybe you have been receiving 2,000 Ghana cedi, 2,000 naira, 20,000 naira. It depends on your currency. Just stick to your currency, but understanding is the key here. So if you have been receiving 800 euro per month, that is your salary, or that is your income, or that is what you get on your income basis. Then what it means is that, let's say expenses is between 400 to 500 euro. Your savings increase, that is by what, 300 euros per month on every month. Then it means that your salary is gonna increase on what, 300. Is that okay? That is all you are getting an excess saving. So it's very, very simple. So if you have your 800, you see, when you print your bank statement, it's just a debit and then credit card. We are not going to do account here, but for understanding purpose, it means that money in and then money out. So money in here, that is where the bank, you on your bank statement, may see that they say credit. It means that money has come in. Debit, money is going out. Is that okay? So credit, money from your employer comes into your account. So anything debit, it means that your expenses. So that expenses accumulate to, let's say, 400 to 500 euros on a monthly basis. So what is going to left is the 300 euros here. So that 300 euros can accumulate over time. Is that okay? So depending on the course that you want to go and study, so the bank will see that consistently. So I have said that earlier. Consistently, you have been saving 300 euros on every month. That accumulates to that amount of money that you want to use for your study visa. Are you getting the point? So that is how simple savings can accumulate at this point here. Now, let's see some of the red flags here. This is solely for student, and then which I believe can also apply for a visa application when it comes to the bank statement. So what are some of the red flags? I know you know a lot, right? So should I skip this part? A huge deposit without any explanation, that is very, very red flag here, right? So cash deposit without source, you cannot just deposit the money into a bank without proving the source where the money is coming from. I guess what I'm trying to say. So very, very, since you are making some deposit aside your regular source of income, then you have to explain exactly where that money is coming from in your letter, right? Explanation letter. And I'll say that by the end of this video. Okay, all right, very, very simple. So if you have a sponsor money, so that sponsor money without a proof of a relationship, you cannot say your dad, your uncle, your siblings, your sister, your brother gives you money to deposit. If you cannot prove that relationship, it's not gonna be. Visa application is all about documents, how well you can raise your document logically to get your visa to the final stage and then get approved. That is what it means by visa application, right? Okay, so those are some of the red flags. You know a lot, so you can even mention some so that you share with us your knowledge in the comment section below. Now, how to build a strong statement here, step by step, right? So how are you going to build? After saying all this thing, let's see how you can build your what? Your bank statement strongly, step by step. Now, from first month to the third month, what do you have to do here? Steady income flow. That is the key here. Steady income flow. Now, what is the key here? Steady income flow means that if your money is coming from your salary, so as I said, that is very, very simple. Your salary in, that is the only source of the income that you have. So your salary in, your expenses follow. You save a part of your salary, and then it accumulates over time, right? And then you use that one to apply for your visa. That is one. So you have to also reduce unnecessary withdrawals. So you go and withdraw the money from your account, and then you say later you go and deposit it. You go and withdraw the money later, you go and deposit it. No. The embassy doesn't want that kind of game here. It's not a game that we are playing, so you have to avoid unnecessary withdrawal. So if you withdraw, you are withdrawing for some purpose, right? If the money comes in, then you have to make sure that you also understand or you have to explain where that money is coming from. Is that okay? So you have to start monthly savings habit. It's very, very important. So a monthly savings habit is the key here. Is that okay? So if you want to travel, you want to go to a school, tourist, or any other type of visa that require a bank statement, start the habit now, right? That is the key. How much are you saving on a month? You know your expenses. If you haven't, you can watch a lot of our videos on how or the expenses that European, USA, UK need when it comes to this type of a visa. But today we are talking about student visa. Now, that is for the first 3 months, right? So let's say the 4th month to the 6th month, what's happening? Because mostly we always recommend that you should print a statement that is the minimum 6 months. That way the embassy can cross-check your habits when it comes to your financial point. Right? Okay, now, so for the 4th to the 6th month here, so your balance should already be stronger. So your balance has already been in the bank for the first 3 months. It's all okay. But I don't think somebody can open a bank account for just a 6 month and say, okay, I'm using that to go and apply for a visa. At least go beyond that. A year plus is enough, right? So that is the key. So you already have the balance in your bank statement. So no panic deposit here. So don't do that. That is very, very suspicious, right? So and then you have to maintain a clean transaction or a clean narration here. So listen to this point. This is a very clean narration. So the narration there that we are talking about here is many people, you see, the habits of especially we the Africans, we are not familiar with that expenses or system, right? Ours is more of cash. So you carry the cash and then you go and make the payment, or maybe now there's a mobile money, a mobile banking. So that is the easiest one that you have to do. But if you want to travel, you have to make sure that you comply with the rules and regulations governing the financial aspect of this travel. Is that okay? So that is the key here. So what do I mean by a clean transaction narration? So what that means here is that, okay, if you are depositing the money into a bank statement, if the money is coming for your employer, I believe it is a company transfer. So the company is gonna have the company narration shows that is a salary, right? So that is a narration here. So if you have a mini job or something of that nature, your employer is not familiar with all those type of transactions, you have to make sure you are alerting. So, okay, my boss, if you are sending the money, make sure that you add or you write salary over there. All right, so you put a salary there to show that is my salary. Now, two, if you have been doing something, because recently I assisted someone in the visa application, aside his regular job, he has been getting commissions he is into real estate. So they get a commission when they sell the house and the land or something. That also reflected on his bank statement. Is that okay? So if it's a commission, you have to make sure that you add a commission to that before you transfer the money into the bank asset. That way, the embassy is able to trace the source of the money and then the purpose of that money. Are you getting it? So very very simple and then straightforward. So if it's a gift from a friend, you can write a gift, right, from that person. Then you add it in the narration is very very important here. So you have to make sure that you pay attention to that one. This is a rent. You are a house owner. You have been receiving a rent and other stuff. Also stick to that. Make sure that you also have that as what a rent, right? Okay, very very important. So the last 30 to 45 days, as usual, you can't make a huge deposit into your account without any explanation. No. Is that okay? Don't do that. So have your statement printed and stamped by the bank. Of course, you know those official, not a savings alone or not a rural bank here. You have a rural bank, you have to make sure that you upgrade yourself to a little, because you are going at an international level, right? Okay. So now, in case of a sponsor or a spouse, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? So in case of a sponsor, so here what you have to do here is that if somebody is going to sponsor you, I believe I have a video specifically on Spain, and I'll talk about bank statement, their requirements on that. So they have a requirement split into two, less than 6 months and then more than 6 months. So I explain a lot in that video, so you can consider checking that video as well. So the key here is that if you are going to be sponsored, you have to add a sponsor letter. So the sponsor letter, I don't know, people normally get a mistake when they are writing this sponsor letter, who they are. That is very very important. In the sponsor letter, you have to, okay, assuming I'm the one sponsoring, who am I to you? That is the question here. So not just any random person getting on that, okay, I want to sponsor you. No, you have to show the connection. Is that okay? You have to show the connection. The connection is very very important. Like here, through a birth certificate or a marriage certificate. Okay, this is my you see, specifically for Spain, the one that can sponsor you is being your parents, your biological parents, and then your siblings, right? So your biological parents and then your siblings are those that work best for Spain. Any other cases must be word explained, right? And then you have to prove the connection and relationship in that case, right? Okay, so and then why am I funding your education? That is the key. So those are the key two major things that you have to include in your sponsorship letter, right? Okay. Now, so here, aside that, if the person added a sponsor letter, so you have to make sure that you add a sponsor bank statement, and then the same rules would apply when you are dealing with how to run your bank statement. Is that okay? Whether the source of the income or the whatsoever you have been doing to get that money, you have to attach that to the application, right? And then I said this earlier on, so the proof of relationship is very, very, very important here. You can't just sponsor somebody randomly without any reason behind, right? There must always be a reason. So the reason is the relationship, the connection between you and that particular person, right? So very, very important. So, and then proof of the sponsored income, I've already said that, yes. By the way, do you have any question? Once again, don't hesitate to comment down below, and then subscribe to our channel for more tips and then lessons like this when it comes to the visa application. Is all about you have to learn first before you apply. Just like an examination, you cannot just go empty-headed and then go and sit down and then have something on your paper. So all that matters here, you have to study first and then apply what you learned when it comes. And then supportive institute, what your savior, right? Okay, so the next point that I'm going to talk about is the explanation letter. Never, never, and never skip this part. Is that okay? Attach a financial explanations letter, right? So if this is beyond your statement cannot easily prove your transactions, right? So then you have to add an explanation letter. So a financial explanation letter. That is what I mean by that. So that letter should state the source of your income. That is one. All right. So any other source of income aside your regular one or your primary source of income, you have to explain that in the letter. Are you getting the key here? So that is exactly what you have to do. You have to prove your source or the source of what? The income. Two, your monthly earnings. So what you have been getting on a monthly earning year, so that is very, very important. So your monthly, okay, you have to give an estimate on monthly, especially if you're a business owner. This is very, very important. All right. So you can give a range. Okay, so how funds cover tuitions plus living. So maybe you can state in the letter, okay, my money in my account here is enough to cover my tuition. Yes, you give the tuition fee there and the living expenses based on the what the public indicator. Is that okay? So based on that, you can also state that, and then confirmation that the money is accessible. Right? So the money is accessible for you to have at any time that you need it. That is the point here. Right? Okay, so the final part here of this video is gonna be the ideal bank statement. The ideal bank statement. What are some of the money that, or what are some of the estimated, what is the right thing that you have to do when it comes to your bank statement? So number one, we always recommend 6 to 12 months history, right? So don't print like a 2 months, 3 months, especially if you don't have any travel history, if you're a first time. So we always recommend 12 to 6 months history. That is the key here. So for a long stay study visa here, so to Europe or to Spain specifically here, estimate between 10k plus euros. Is that okay? 10,000 plus euros for the long stay, and then go for a 7k plus euros for the short stay, right? Okay, now regular income is always the key here. Regular income is always the key here. Be consistent. That is the key here. You have to be consistent all the time, and then you have to have a stable end balance. Is that okay? Don't make sure that, okay, last month you draw your money nearly to zero balance, and then following month you keep on building up, and then no, don't do that. So you have a target, you have an aim to travel, so you have to make sure that you have a plan, and then you stick to that plan till you achieve it. Now, a clear explanation is also another very, very important here. So without you being explained, most of the visa interviews to Europe and other countries here don't necessarily require an interview, right? So the visa applications in most of the countries don't need an interview. Are you getting it? So is your document gonna be your lawyer between you and the consular? So if your documents are not well arranged, then doom, you can't get your visa approved. Is that okay? So your explanation letter here is the key to your approval, right? Is the key to your approval. And then no last minute visa money. No, don't do that. Don't drop money in your bank statement for the visa purpose here. But if that should be the case here, there must be an explanation and the purpose of the money, right? So that is how simple and how fast you can get your visa approved here. So if you have any question, once again, don't hesitate to comment. I mean, give us a thumbs up if you gain some values from this video, and then we'll be glad to see you come back and come and comment under this video that because of this particular video your visa has been approved. That is what we want to see in the near future. All the best in your visa application, and then we wish you best of luck. Now, by the way, if you need our consultation, once again, you can click down the link below. Just that if you just want to discuss a personal issue with us, so you need somebody to discuss your personal issue, have a guideline. That one comes with a paid consultation. So just click down the link below, book that. If you want to make an document inquiry, it's also available. Just click on that. You get our contact or information to reach out to us for any personal assistance. All the best.